to MOC membership, MOC talks. So basically I have two channels and my name is Mihail. Today we will share and discuss a different approach of how the things can be done differently. And for many, many years and decades, the same thing and the same system was followed, the same patterns, the same regulation. Nothing has really changed on the turn to the sustainability. And sustainability in the shipping and maritime industry means making the same operation by doing less unnecessary things. So in our today episode, let's say scope, we will analyze the waste oil system. We will see how much complicated this operation is, how much time consuming it is, and also what is the benefits for the improvement. We will see the negative side of this system and we will see how we are able to improve this system. As engineer working on board the vessels for a lot of years, I have accumulated a lot of substantial experience in order to revise the systems and not just follow them as they are. And basically, this is the business opportunities that I am creating. Basically, I'm revising, I see the viability, the efficiency of each and let's say individual system, and then put these corrections that are required. So that's why I also have created amazing projects here on the main channel, the MOC membership, which you are able to access only through the memberships. And I have created the bunkering project, the sludge project, and also the crude oil masterclass course, which is also available together with the book. First of all, as you have seen, the system consists with a lot of piping, a lot of pumps, a lot of tanks, a lot of different systems that has to be operated in specific order. And the more complicated the system is the more demandful from the view of point of hours need to be spent, times to be spent on maintenance, on operating the system. So what if we are able to eliminate this system completely from the vessel? Okay, that means directly less hours spent on the incinerator, less money to build all this system, less money spent on the labor from the engineers, let's say, fighting to resolve the system and put it back in the service, which is most often happen. And also, it is less exposure if the system is not placed on the vessel for making wrong entries on the oil record book. So basically, by removing this entire system from the vessel, we have only positive, let's say, outcome from it. So basically, we spend less CO2 emissions. We make less pollution of the air on the, let's say, on the trips, because all the systems are working far away from the land, and in the open ocean there is continuous burning of tons of this sludge and oil material, and we are able to avoid to completely remove this system. So we will not burn anything, we will not pollute the air, we will not have unnecessary piping, and also we reduce highly the weight of the vessel, okay, that is being carrying this system. So you can imagine that this weight, which can be substantial, it can be some tons, it can be, let's say, 10 tons, 20 tons more, 30 tons more. So basically you can use this weight in order to carry some other cargo or even increase the capacity of other tanks, okay, which increase your profitability, let's say, during the bunkering or during the oil bunkering. So you have a lot of different use cases that you are able to improve when these systems are not there in place. And basically you have a much more transparent engine room with the less piping, because less piping means you're able to identify much faster the existing piping to solve the problems much faster, and the lines it's not going like this. So basically what was happening through the years, the engineering knowledge has been completely disconnecting from the knowledge of the ship building. And this caused a lot of problems because, yes, this disconnection from one profession to another shows that things are not delivered properly in the proper way as they should be. And also, yes, from the view of shipbuilding, people, yes, are trying as much as possible to do things, yes, to comply with the regulations and all the things, but it's not always the best way to do, and it's not also the cheapest way to do. So that's why the cost of the vessels increased tremendously, because basically the approach was completely wrong. Okay, the way of approaching the system was completely wrong. And for decades, I have started in 2005, and still in 2025, you will see these systems being installed and installed in the vessels repeatedly again, again, and again. So what have changed? What have improved? Or the system is so much immune that it does not change through the years. So how is it possible to eliminate all these tanks? Waste oil tank number one, waste oil two number two, drain tanks, a lot of tanks, waste oil tanks, sludge tanks, bilge holding tanks. Okay, that one probably you will not able to, let's say, the big one, the bilge holding tank, but this one you have additional tank. So the more tanks you're making, the more trouble you're making to yourself and your crew. And basically, you increase the load for the people that are working there. So you install pumps, you install priming pumps, you install level gauges, you install level alarm systems. These have also together also a lot of cables to monitor the system. So it's full of cables, full of electrical support, a monitoring system, alarm systems, and all that funds. Valves, you can see tens of valves, which the average cost for this valve is about $250. If we count all these valves here, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have only 10 valves here, 20 valves here, 30 valves here. So in general, let's say it's a system about of 40 valves if we are also adding the deck valves on top. By 40 valves, and also yes, in the future, yes, these valves will be replaced. 40 valves times 250, it is already $10,000. Okay, just only the valves. We are not talking about the pipes. We are not talking about all the rest of things. So basically, yes, we have just the valves. Just imagine. So how to remove these things and how to improve the system? What you are able to do, it is something really fantastic. All this oil that can be accumulated in the sludge tank, stored, let's say, on the bottom where all the drains are going, because it is fuel. It is fuel that has been processed. It is oil that has been processed. The only thing that you can do to make it, let's say, much better, it is the thing that you can separate the oil from the fuel. So basically, by separating the oil from the fuel, what you're able to do, it is to have two products already. Okay, so you have oil and fuel separated through all your drains, and these products and these let's say bioproducts of oil, the drains and all the things that you have created, should not mix with other chemicals. So basically you should not through their chemicals or any other ways. So as much as possible, try to eliminate the production of other, let's say, chemical waste and all the things. Because what is happening most of the time, all that sludges receive also chemical washings, a lot of contaminations together. So the more you throw inside, the more contamination you have. And my expertise have shown that it's not required to do so. So basically, as people, and when we have wrong operational instructions, and basically we don't give the proper attention, we make as much possible contamination can be. So then these products are really, really difficult to separate, and there needs additional effort to separate them. As much as possible, in the initial stage, yes, we have to separate these products cleanly without making any contamination. So then the recipient facilities are able to make a process of them. And what is happening, and also what it should, let's say, change in order to improve the things, that the facilities also develop a reception for the fuel sludges and the oil sludges separately. With this approach, it will be much more better manageable, the waste separation and the waste handling. And also when burning this waste, there is less effect of the air quality from the burning itself. Because just imagine if you have a sludge which is contaminated with chemicals, which is contaminated, let's say, with all that different stuff that somebody can throw inside, and there is no proper separation, and then it's burnt. Just imagine all this go to the ocean air and also create some kind of pollution there locally on the ocean environment. So yes, we are able to remove all that system. We are able to create a just two tanks, which is already existed on the vessel, the oily bilge tank, where all the oily things are going there. If you have a leakage, let's say diesel in the fuel, that's not that much matter, because yes, then you have another grade mixed, so you have a light separation, but still this can be used and be reused. The only thing that is required, and I believe it's required more from the facilities or even for the vessels, it is a filtering system which will filter all, let's say, the things that are in the fuel, like mostly silicones and all that things from the refinery, yes, all that dirty stuff that it received from the refinery. And also, yes, in many cases, for sure, the contamination needs to be reduced also from the suppliers, because if they transfer a product, let's say previously, and there was not proper washing and if fuel was loaded on top of it, or diesel, yes, then there can be some issues and some problems with the contamination. So yes, that is it for the moment. We are able, for sure, we're able to reduce all the things. We're able to reduce them. And since we reduce all the things, just imagine if we do not have this system built. Basically, the incinerator also costs a lot. It can cost up to 200,000 euros. And then the maintenance of the bricks and all the things has highly increased the costs of all the spare parts. Just imagine for 20 years you have to keep it in that system. How many records you will be done every day spending by chief engineer, and otherwise, yes, he will be able, let's say, to allocate it on another job or making something more meaningful. Okay. And this is the way that I believe that we directly create a value, which value directly transforms and translates to money saved through this system, which can be also translated, as I told, to the bunkering. Yes, you can increase the bunkering capacity, you can do things much easier, you have more time, and this is how the efficiency increases. In the bunkering project that I have created, I have eliminated a lot of things also, which saves, yes, the cost, makes the vessel much lighter, have less exposure, less risks, have operations done faster than 50 to 60%. And also I have a project which is also related with the bunkering and the sludge, which reduces the time of discharging of the sludges with a specific fix and adjustment. And another thing, it's also the crude oil washing masterclass, which is available from the membership. It gives advantage that you are ahead of any kind of issues that are able to arise with the crude oil, because I believe the future of crude oil, it is more complicated than it seems to be. So there will be issues for sure if somebody does not know how to handle the product and how properly to take actions in order to avoid these issues that can arise, which can be also freeze of the cargo on the cargo holds. It can be also a less effective dewatering process through the time, and also it can be difficult to discharge the product if you don't know certain things about the product, certain standards and norms about the product. So when you know these things, and then you will able to know, yes, how this product is behaving, how this product needs to be discharged, what is the proper temperature for that, and what each temperature means for the discharging operation and operations itself. So yes, we are able to eliminate the system completely. It's not necessary. So you can see that the vessel became directly, let's say, cheaper. The operations are going much faster. Less people spend time on that. So the vessel became much faster, more competitive, less expensive. So much more profits for everyone. Easiest operation for the people that are working there, so they are not burned out. For sure, earnings for the owner and additional earnings through, let's say, bigger size of bunkers or tanks. So he is able to buy more bulk oil, let's say, for the cylinder oil, for the main engine oil, wherever is it, or even he can take much more cargo by reducing all this weight on the total weight of the cargo by transferring, like, some additional barrels. And yes, it really matters because some barrels can go up to 100, 110, 120 dollars per barrel. Just imagine a vessel that can take 1,000 barrels additionally from all that improvements on all the things. That means this vessel is much more valuable and it's much more preferable for loading than compare another vessel. So freight per barrel rate will be also lower, more efficient, more safe, and yes, more reliable. Not always all the systems that are operating are necessary, and we have to think about that not always that something has created because it was created by people. They are making also mistakes, and it does not mean that if somebody created something that you should use it in the way that it has been designed. We as engineers, we have the ability to think beyond of what has been created, because basically we are the creators of the systems, because we know how the things needs to be operated, we know how the things needs to be designed, where to place, for what reason, and for what outcome we would like to achieve. By doing things, by installing things, it only increases the cost. And through my experience, I have seen the tendency of the people, it's to buy more, build more, and you can see also in the reality that these things are not necessary. The most necessary thing is that the efficiency and the working environment that you have created is working in such way that it needs the least power to be spent in order to have gains. We can compare that also with a fascinating bird, with owl, which the bird itself spends the least possible amount of energy to catch its prey. And we can also introduce this way and this philosophy of in our working operation. Basically, it's something similar to the lean, but it's more sophisticated and more taken through the analysis, deep down, analysis stage, why these things has been done, for which reason, does it require? Not. So how we can do it otherwise in order to achieve the same outcome. So basically, I have been always fascinated of how we can start in one starting point and then we can reach the same starting point or the same results by doing things differently. By doing things differently, by doing things with different approach, with different parameters, but they have at the end the same outcome. I hope this video is helpful. It shares some insights from the projects itself. It shares also the, let's say, the connection between of accepting things and take it for granted, and also put your mind on work and thinking about of how the things are working. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for more. Explore the memberships, explore the second channel as well, where I share all the insight for the maritime industry and the how things has been working and will work for the future. As a marine expert in this industry for more than 2 decades, I have a clear view of how the things should be operating, of how the things should be done, and I believe all the things that I have been provided, it's been tested in the real conditions environment. That's why this makes them so much successful, because they have proved themselves twice or 3 or 5 times additionally, and then I will bring it to the community in order to share it and have access it on that. And the most important thing is that all the products that I have been created, they have the return of investment 1 to 10. So for each dollar that you are investing, you will have $10 return of investment. It is the most efficient way to create value, to create a real value. And this is the formula that I will stay also for the future. Thank you very much. See you next video, and bye bye from Mihail.